We've just rocked it. I'm a Dubaian. I come from the Philippines. I've been living here for the last 23 years. Delved myself in the world of fashion in my first decade of living here, in the pioneering years of the fashion movement in Dubai. And really in the last 12 to 13 years, got myself into event management. And I find myself today, along with my team, launching the first season of Fashion Forward, really combining two disciplines that I had the pleasure of immersing myself, which is fashion and event management. I would say a natural progression, really, in the scheme of things, where at first you've got your power brands sort of like setting their footprints, sort of like dominating a market, thinking it's all theirs. But then in parallel, obviously, you've got all our sheikhas and ladies who would go to their favorite glorified dress shop. And that sort of evolved your indigenous and homegrown talent that are just inevitably rising and rising. I'm feeling that there's going to be this period of renaissance that is about to happen because we have the talent, we've had our days of excesses, but the main ingredients are there and it's just time to project them and potentially flourish. That's why I think Fashion Forward is happening at the right time, with the right mindset.
I think it's an opportunity, for people to know how can we perceive fashion here in Dubai. Dubai is not only about abayas, and look the way I dress. I changed my abaya, it's not a traditional thing.
We're all living here harmoniously, and you've got a lot of great talent. You've got a lot of other nationalities that are putting Dubai and the region in the fashion international map. You've got the likes of Fern One, Micheal Cinco, Ezra, Emperor 16/8, Issa, Aisha Dipala, I mean the list goes on, Zayan. They are in their own way, championing fashion, and they're doing it in behalf of the city they all live in, to a great extent.
I think it's a great opportunity for designers who are already established like Issa, for designers who are up and coming like the new contemporaries, to have a platform to showcase every season. I think it would even streamline their work. It will put them at the international calendar.
It really is a lot of different components coming together. Platforms like this are not social events. It's an industry event where fashion is not leisure, it's not entertainment, it's business. The successful stories we've had out of Fashion Forward was Tresor Sauvage. I mean, a couple of Emirati young women that started this label, very well educated in the field of fashion, and they're truly a brand to watch very, very soon. And they launched a very successful collection, and we need to be proud of them, and we need to magnify them. The media needs to magnify them. All of the media came to support it. A lot of the buyers, they all came and observed, they were very curious, but at the same time you could feel that they were sort of like cheering for it to work. You just felt it in the concourse, everyone felt good, everyone looked good, and there was just this unanimous feeling that this is what we deserve and this is what we should have, and that we're going to carry on supporting it. I believe every smart market will want to have their own brands, to offer a unique flavor to their tourists. It's really what New York did 50 years ago. Stephen Kolb said that 50 years ago the American designers would go to Paris and copy the designs and just, And that was sort of the pattern until they decided to say, no, let's do this ourselves. I know there's a lot of movement going on towards pushing design as a driving force for Dubai and the region. And when the government decides to put importance to that, you can expect magnificent things. And it's very, very important. I mean, if you look at all the successful platforms around the world, it is often initiated privately, but you almost need the government to support it on a much larger scale for it to be a true economic contributor. And it has to be taken at that level. I think the industry should be larger than just one city. It should really encompass the whole region. There's a lot of things going on in Doha. Beirut has always been sort of like, you know, the cradle of fashion in the Middle East. That's where it all started. Oman, I mean, they've got fantastic outlook on fashion as well. So you've got all these things that's going on, and I think everyone will complement each other, and before you know it, we're gonna have something that is solid. And if we start talking to each other, it could really amount to something very, very positive. I like where we are right now. I think we've definitely inherited all the infrastructure that the city has laboriously built over the years. The city has soul. Because it's when you reflect and you pause that you find your inner self. And again, without sounding too preachy, I think that's what happened to the city. It's one sort of like in the larger scheme of things. I would like to think that we contributed in our own little way. It's also overwhelming and daunting because expectations are high. So I think it's managing all these facets that are going to come about and making sure that we remain focused in what we want to do. I mean, the feedback and pledges of support that we got after season 1 is overwhelming. And now we're in talks of potentially growing what we have started even larger. Are we good?